Time to tackle this top end. You can see just by things moving around, it kind of broke off part of that gasket, which is okay since things are torqued together. I'm going to take a razor blade, carefully remove the rest of the gasket while being super cautious not to drop the remaining piece into the open case. Once we have that done, we can go ahead and reinstall our cylinder dowels on the ignition timing chain side. And then what we need to do next is we'll take a clean rag and we are going to wrap it around the connecting rod just to make sure nothing falls in the crankcase during the installation of the piston pin and clips. Okay. Side note on our cylinder and rings that we're going to be using, always check your piston ring end gap no matter what. Really easy to do. You can take the piston ring, put it in the bore. There's lots of other videos on this where you set the piston ring to a certain point. I'm going to do that off camera just for demonstration. And you measure the gap when the piston rings touch. So our gap here, you want 0.004 inches times number of inches the diameter of your bore is. This is a 57 millimeter bore. Converted 2 inches gives you 2.24 inches. When you multiply that by 0.004, you get about 0.009. You take your feeler blades, make sure you can get a 0.009 feeler blade between that gap. If so, you are all set to go. If not, you need to follow the rings and get that gap perfect. We've got our piston ready to go with the rings installed. You notice on the valve reliefs, one of them is larger than the other. The larger is the intake valve, points toward the intake. We're going to go ahead and install one piston pin clip, get our piston pin installed, and then install the other clip. This is an operation that I do not use rubber gloves on. I don't want any bits of rubber glove ending up in the rings, the pin clip area, anywhere inside this area. So bare hands, everything's clean, my hands are clean. I'm going to go ahead and install this clip, which depending on your experience can be difficult. So just take your time and work it into the groove and carefully use something to help insert into the groove. Nice, positive, engaging click. I've done it on the opposite side to me, so I can install the pin and access the clip from this side, which is more convenient. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of oil. Do the same thing to the bores where the piston pin goes. piston pin. Slide that through. We're going to take our other clip, put it on this side. We'll check back when we're done. Now that our piston is installed, we can remove this rag. I'm going to set this to bottom dead center, or BDC. Going to wipe our gasket surface. Now in this kit, we are provided two base gaskets, one aluminum, one paper. They're both the same thickness, but you can stack if you need more piston to valve clearance. Later on, we will measure what that piston to valve clearance is and determine if we need this or not. So it is possible that we will have to go back and either add this spacer or not. For the time being, I will not be adding it. So we're going to install our gasket. Over the dowels. And then our cylinder. Again, no gloves. I don't want bits of rubber getting in there. Oil the inside of our cylinder. I will raise up the piston. We will oil some on the skirt. Note that I am not flooding with oil and making a mess. There is a cam chain tensioner guides and setup that we'll need to accommodate. We'll do that, and then we'll slide the cylinder over that piston.
Action.
So we got our cam chain tensioner reinstalled. Should be able to wipe down this gasket area. And install. We must be very careful when getting the piston rings compressed into the cylinder to not pinch them